So how long have you had this tank set up, Bill?
Just over 3 years, about 3.5 years.
And how old did you say that Yellow Tang is?
28 years old.
28 years old. So this fish was one of the starring fish of my first VHS video that I produced in, I think, 1999. And he's still going strong.
Yep. Bought in at Christmas in 1995.
Wow.
From St George Aquariums, where it was either you or Deb, one of the two.
Yeah.
So,
and then what about this clownfish? How old is she?
the two clowns are around about 8 years old now.
Yeah.
The blue damsel at the top, the one little single blue damsel, he's
Yep.
over 10 years old.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
A 10-year-old damsel.
Yep. It's the only one in the tank that survived, but yeah, over 10 years now.
Yeah, he looks a bit worse for wear, but doing very well for his
Yeah, I
age.
know. That's
So I've got a little red sea light. It's lighting the tank beautifully for a little 50-watt light.
yeah, no, it's good.
We've got a dosing system here, an e-coral dosing system. We've got what looks like an auto top-up.
Yeah, got auto top up.
We've got,
That's just for the skimmer, the overflow from the skimmer, so I don't have to always constantly empty it out.
Oh.
So, although the skimmer's turned off at the moment, it's not working. Hang on, let's see if I can switch the, see if that helps a little bit.
so we're down here, a little bit of marine pure.
Yeah, there's a bit of polyfilter in there as well, and marine pure, and
Some polyfilter and some marine pure, a little heater, and what about that Coral Beauty? How old's he?
around about 7, I'd say. The daughter bought that, so yeah, about 7 years old.
And then Mr. Dotty back?
Not so old. Maybe 2.5, 3 years old now. That was sort of an addition that when I set this tank up. So
Well, realistically,
all the other fish came with it. So that came from the other tank. So.
there's quite a few fish in that tank, considering the size of it.
Yeah, the yellow tang doesn't have much of a fin left anymore.
Who nipped that off?
I don't know if it was actually nipped. He's always been the largest one in the tank, so I don't know if he got stung or if it's just the age now, or
Yeah, well, who knows?
it's
His
just
age.
slowly decreasing. So there's not really anything in there that can really.
You wouldn't think so. And then what about this big leather coral? How old's that?
That's 3 years. I'll put that in at the beginning of this tank,
Yep.
and it was around about the size of a cup.
So, yeah, right.
So that's absolutely just.
And how often do you water change this tank?
I started with weekly, and then I sort of went to sort of fortnightly. So most probably about fortnightly.
And how much do you change?
I only do 8 litres, so it's only very small amount. It's just enough to keep everything happy. So I've started siphoning off the gravel down the bottom, just to get rid of it. Much better off having just a glass bottom.
Yeah, for now, sure.
So unfortunately, the little cabbage on the side, it's actually come off the rock in the last week. I think he's been getting stung, so it's just released himself off the side. But apart from that,
It's a really beautiful tank. Hey buddy, just another good tank there. What are you going to do with him while you're away?
right?
She'll go to the door now. Hey, you go to the Christine from going holidays, huh?
I quickly mention holidays if she's gone.
And does a yellow tang have a name?
No.
Well, I've never heard of one that old.
Yeah, I originally asked I think it was around about 16 years old, and like it was one of the last questions at St George where I sort of said, how old do they actually sort of get? And they sort of said, how long have you had him? And I said, about 16 years now. And they went, well, if you've had him for 16 years, you're doing really well.
Doing really well.
And it's like, he's 28 now, so.
Yeah, I've never heard of close to that. I think that's the record by a long way.
So it's just, yeah, just loves his noise and just eats and happy.
Fish having a good time. Oh, it's a hell of a, yeah, so you're finally departing. People don't even keep their kids for that long.
Yeah. That's why I rang you, because I thought, hopefully you'll put him somewhere.
Yeah, I will.
In one of your own tanks or a display or somewhere where he's,
Yeah, I will. I'll do my best for him. We'll try and look after all of them the absolute best we can. I've loved all your tanks.
Can you actually still buy yellow tanks?
No.
No, I didn't think you could.
They'll be available again, but the
Because
stupid...
Hawaii is basically predated, doesn't it?
Yeah, temporarily. So it'll get reopened soon. But basically
We're not trying to breed them sort of in-house or
Oh
anything?
yeah, definitely trying that, but and with some success. But basically, the greenies got held of the Hawaiian government and announced that they were going to save various endemic species from Hawaii, and all of those species had been saved. So the aquarium industry had identified about 20 years ago something like 13 species of concern, and the actual aquarium industry regulated itself, and for the last 13 years, and this is old data, so let's say when I read about it, the last 13 years, year on year, there had been very good increases in distribution and abundance of every single one of the concerned species. So basically, the fish were not under threat, and the industry had regulated itself, and the natural figures of these fish is increasing anyway.
Yeah.
And they did it for a completely political stunt with absolutely no science whatsoever. So they closed down a multi-billion-dollar business for no scientific reason, just to appease green groups and make it look like they're trying to save species that literally don't need saving. I mean, I was in Hawaii recently, and there's plenty of distribution of all of the species that they're concerned about. It's just a big political load of crap. But anyway, they'll be available again, because common sense will prevail. It's just such a beautiful tank.